don't know how many of you were lucky enough to be included in the robocall teleconference with newly elected Governor Doug Ducey and his education wingman, former Arizona school superintendent Lisa Graham Keegan. The February 5th call appeared to be targeted at Southern Arizonans living in TUSD, with a few callers who had clearly already been lined up, like the head of the International School, a private school in Tucson that leases a TUSD building, and Michael Hicks, a TUSD school board member. Most of the calls centered on trashing TUSD and giving justifications as to why a state takeover of closed TUSD school sites is necessary so that they can be taken over by charter schools. Mr. Ducey and Ms. Keegan are clearly trying to build their case for this plan. What I found especially interesting was the extent to which they were willing to mislead the public in doing so. So first, here's some background. When charter operators purchase property, land, buildings, computers, with public funds, if they close their charter school and they are a for-profit charter or a non-profit charter with a for-profit arm, they can keep that land, buildings, computers, etc., as their own personal property. Then they can sell them or lease them and make a personal profit. So let's just give a hypothetical here under the Ducey-Keegan flip a school plan. Under this plan, districts like TUSD, which currently has 11 unoccupied schools, could be forced to sell those schools to charters that have waiting lists. So let's assume a for-profit charter with a wait list were to buy a closed school, let's say Townsend, which is located on a primo piece of real estate across from TMC on Craycroft and Grant Road. Because there is no competition, fair market price for the site will not be achieved. So it will be sold under fair market value to a for-profit charter. The for-profit charter school enrolls a few students, but decides eventually that the site is not working for them. So they close the charter school, put it on the market, this time for fair market value. Developers who want to build a medical complex on the 40-acre property get in a bidding war, and poof, the for-profit charter operator makes a bundle from a building that was originally purchased with taxpayer dollars. And remember, they keep that money as personal profit. Sound like a scam? That's because it is one. And this is a scam that charter school advocates claim is just a necessary part of the free enterprise system that charter schools embody. Okay? I don't think taxpayers would agree with that. The problem is that most taxpayers don't realize that this is the law. And the fact that Mr. Ducey and Ms. Keegan misled listeners on their call about this issue didn't help shine any light on the matter. So what did they say? Ducey said that this is a wives' tale. I think he meant an old wives' tale, meaning it isn't true. And Keegan flat out said it couldn't happen because charters are nonprofits and any property they hold must be turned over to another nonprofit if they close. What she did not mention is that Arizona is one of the few states that allows for-profit charters who can absolutely flip a school, and that many nonprofit charters like Basis have a for-profit arm that actually runs the school. So we have the governor of Arizona and his mouthpiece, who last held office 14 years ago, misleading the public on a taxpayer-funded robocall, which they claim reached 5,000 people. Another piece of misleading information that the Ducey-Keegan duo put out is that they really want other public schools to take advantage of these vacant buildings. Really? Is that why your budget, Mr. Ducey, strips neighborhood schools from the ability to create their own charter programs, which could possibly enable them to take over a closed district building? There was a front page story in the Star detailing how your proposed budget removes funding for district-sponsored charters with the goal of eventually phasing them out. So tell me, exactly how are districts going to replicate their successful models in these vacant buildings without the funds to do so? It isn't possible, is it? So let's stop pretending that that's what your plan is really about. This is a money and a land grab, and as Tim Steller's column about the issue so adeptly pointed out, it's a clear case of doing favors for friends. In this case, the pro-school privatization forces that helped elect Mr. Ducey. So, what can be done? Well, for one, parents can stop sending their children to these schools, understanding that the goal really is to ultimately create no true choice for students and their families. I also recommend that anyone concerned about this issue make some different consumer choices. Where you shop matters. Ask Jim Click, who headed the draft Doug Ducey committee, to intervene. And when he declines, ask yourself whether you should be buying a car from him. Ask Leah Marquez Pedersen, who heads the Tucson Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, why public education supporters should frequent the businesses that belong to her organization when she is working with Ducey and Keegan directly to undermine public education. And next time you're in the grocery store, think twice before buying Shamrock milk, as its owner is one of the big supporters of the most vehement anti-public education group out there, the Goldwater Institute. After all, we have a choice, don't we, as to where to shop and what we buy. That's the true beauty of the free enterprise system, isn't it?